And then I said to him, what are the ultimate goals here? He said, the ultimate goal is to get everybody in this world chipped with the RFID chip, and have all money be on those chips and everything on those chips. And if anybody wants to protest what we do or violate what we want, we just turn off their chip.
In the end, everybody will be locked into a monitored control grid where every single action you perform is documented. And if you get out of line, they can just turn off your chip, for at that point in time, every single aspect of society will revolve around interactions with the chips. This is the picture that is painted for the future if you open your eyes to see it. A centralized one-world economy where everyone's moves and everyone's transactions are tracked and monitored, all rights removed.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order.
Okay, let's do it.
On the back of the dollar bill, you'll see the symbol on the left-hand side of the bill, which is annuit coeptus, which means our enterprise is now a success, or our enterprise is crowned with success. Annuit coeptus. So you're saying, fine, so you have an enterprise and it's now crowned with success. What enterprise are you talking about? Novas ordo seclorum. Novas is novus, meaning new. Ordo is order, and seclorum is where we get the word secular, meaning the world. So it's new order of the world, the new world order. George Bush's new world order is now a success.
We can exclusively reveal that George Bush Sr.'s occult name is Magog, which is the name of the evil army commanded by Satan to visit Earth and destroy the kingdom of Christ. The American Ivy League colleges each have their own branches of the Skull and Bones Brotherhood of Death, indoctrinating the children of America's elite families who go on to become the captains of industry, banking, law, military, and the media. The epicenter of this elite cabal is Yale University. The last 3 presidents attended Yale, as did the terrorist expert Paul Bremer III, who governs Iraq for the Bush-Cheney Skull and Bones elite. Members of the Anglo-American Illuminati network also share the same philosophy. They believe in a single, all-powerful superstate, which is governed by a single world leader.
If the Illuminati were successful, and their dream would come true, it would be a virtual hell on Earth. That is what the New World Order is all about. It's a living hell. It's Orwell's worst dream and nightmare.
The FEMA plans to imprison American citizens have generated a lot of interest around the country in locating the potential prison camps throughout the country, or facilities that have other uses but which could be quickly used to detain large numbers of people, such as this Amtrak facility in Beech Grove, Indiana. All of these apparent security measures are particularly unusual here because this is a very low crime area and this facility is nothing but an old train repair station with nothing in it worth stealing. In this portion of the parking lot is a brick building, suitable for processing, next to a gate that leads right out to the railroad tracks, and all of this is contained inside a fully fenced area, now 3 layers deep in fencing at this point. This U.S. Air Force train indicates federal and military involvement. Facing the opposite direction You can see that this area, too, is a very large fenced area with railroad track running the length of the fence and plenty of warehouses. This small building is the only way into a particular fenced area. Inside this building, we see more of the motion-activated detectors, electronic turnstiles, and prison bars. Outside this building is fencing and a cattle run section of fence, all topped by barbed wire, pointing inward, not to keep people out, but to keep people in. On the other side of the building, you'll see signs that say Red Zone, right up next to the railroad tracks that run the length of the fenced area. Next to the Red Zone sign, you can see closely numbered markers on the fences that are too closely spaced to be parking markers, just as if they plan to have people line up to board the trains. Looking around, you can get an idea of how huge this place is and how many people it could contain in its fenced-in area. In yet another fenced area, we see a large warehouse building at the end, with the electronic turnstiles in front of it. The building is one that has a new concrete floor, and its doors and windows have all been blocked. Outside, there are new gas pipes. Even as we were filming, a black helicopter flew over us, observing what we were doing, which has happened many times when we have been at the facility. The gas lines and gas pipes at the facility run the length of the buildings. And come out at some very, very large, brand new furnaces that have been installed at the buildings throughout the facility.
Consider that in a few years, perhaps a few months or days, thou will become rottenness and worms. All must come to an end, and if when you die your soul is lost, all is lost for you. St. Bernard says, "Look on the sins of youth and blush. Look on the sins of manhood and weep. Look on the present disorders of thy life, and tremble and amend. Behold the graves of the dead, and say to yourself, if these could live again, what would they not do for eternal life? And I who have time, what do I do for my soul? In the world, those only are esteemed happy who enjoy the goods, the pleasures, the riches, and the pomps of this world. But death puts an end to all these joys of earth. For what is your life? It is a vapor which appeareth for a little while, James 4:15. Behold that man, courted today, feared and almost worshipped. Tomorrow when he is dead he will be despised, reviled, and trampled upon. When death comes we must leave all. When the body is laid in the grave, the flesh falls off, and behold his skeleton can no longer be distinguished from the other skeletons. Go to the grave, says St. Basil, and see if you can there discover who has been servant and who has been master. On this earth men are born unequal, but after death all become equal. That which has happened to your forefathers will happen also to you. They have inhabited your home. They have slept in that very bed, but now they are no longer there. The same will happen to you. All know that they must die, but many are deceived by picturing to themselves death at such a distance, as if it could never come near them. It is appointed unto men once to die, Hebrews 9:27. The sense of death is written against all men. Death alone is certain, says St. Augustine. All other goods or evils are uncertain. It is uncertain whether the newborn infant will be poor or rich, whether it will have good or bad health, whether it will die young or old. All is uncertain, but it is certain that it shall die. If then you should live all the days you reckon upon, still a day must come, and of that day an hour which will be the last for you. Who is the man who shall live and not see death? There has never been a man so mad as to flatter himself that he should never die. That which has happened to your ancestors will happen also to you. Of all those who at the beginning of the last century lived in your country, behold, not one is living. Even the princes and monarchs of the earth have changed their abode. Nothing remains of them but a marble mausoleum with a grand inscription, which now only serves to teach us that all that is left of the great ones of this world is a little dust enclosed in a tomb. It is appointed, it is then certain that we are all condemned to death, and every step we take brings us nearer to death. As your name has been one day registered in the book of baptism, so will one day be registered in the book of death. As you now speak of your forefathers, the blessed memory of my father, of my uncle, of my brother, so will your successors also say of you. As you have heard the bell toll for others, so will others hear it toll for you. Look then at the corpses, each of which says to you, yesterday for me, today for thee. The same is said to you by the portraits of your deceased relations, their beds, the clothes they have left behind them. In every age